Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of voice for radio. So today we need to talk about some weird promos, ladies and gentlemen. But I've had a good old look. They're definitely real. And let's just start off with this one. I adore this. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is a card that I think an awful lot of people are going to want. It is from the Metamon project over in Korea. And Metamon, of course, is Ditto. And look at the artwork. We've got a Ditto Lapras being ridden by a Ditto Pikachu. While a Ditto Magikarp looks on, a Ditto Lotad is chilling in the background. And then there's a couple of just actual Ditto just, doing their thing in the background as well. I think this is absolutely wonderful. And here's the biggest problem. For an awful lot of people watching this, I'm not sure we're getting this. I don't want to be mean here. I'm not 100% convinced we're actually going to be getting this. And that's a little bit of a problem. Now, it's actually a very cool card. Now, I will admit this is machine translated Japanese cards. I learned to translate them myself. I'm very proud of the fact that I learned to translate Japanese Pokemon cards myself, not least of all because there's apparently a pretty relevant mistranslation that's been going around over the past few days. But I'm afraid when it comes to Korean cards, my translation skills are, I would say poor, but that would be overestimating my mistranslation skills. They don't exist. I have no mistranslation skills. I'm sorry. What I will say is, the machine translation seems pretty clear. I mean, single energy, 10 damage, nobody really cares. But also, single energy, it looks like you can get 3 basic Pokemon, all of different types, and put them on your bench. And I'm telling you right now, that is actually not terrible. Like, remember, when we're talking about these promo cards, kind of the whole point of it is that they're kind of supposed to be garbage. The whole point of them is that they're unplayable garbage, because if you accidentally do a bit of a whoopsie and make a playable promo, then everyone who can't get the promo all of a sudden is disadvantaged, and that's a bad thing. We don't like this. We want everyone to be able to play and enjoy the game. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, trying to sit here right now and tell you that the Metamon Project Ditto is just amazing and going to be in every deck. But I am also telling you that it is not unplayable garbage. Because I can envisage a world where you're playing a bunch of different types of Pokemon, and all of a sudden this goes and gets you 3 different types, and actually, yeah. Again, not claiming it's the best deck out there or anything silly like that. But there are a bunch of different types of Pokemon you want. Take the Blissey deck that got second place this past weekend. Well, early on in the game, you want your colorless Chansey. You want your Psychic type Monkey Dory. And then you've got things like your Fighting type Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, for instance. You are playing 3 different types of Pokemon in that deck, and I'm not saying this would play the Ditto. I'm not. The point I'm making is there are enough decks out there that actually do play a not insignificant amount of different typings of Pokemon, and actually there are reasons potentially to play a card like this. Not saying it's some ridiculous broken Uber card or anything stupid like that, but I am saying I can see a world where this sees play, which in and of itself is honestly kind of relevant, because there are enough Pokemon out there that come around as promo cards that are just genuinely, legitimately unplayable garbage. This is at least better than them. But what actually is all of this? Well, it's the Metamon project that's going on over in Korea right now. It's got its own Twitter handle for some reason I don't really understand. But apparently, there's a lot of Ditto stuff going on. And there is a Pokemon Town thing happening. And you can go along and there's a mass outbreak of Metamon. which is obviously Ditto. And then there's a big sleeping Snorlax. There's some Pokemon Go that you can play, because I don't know, why would you not? There are hats to be gotten featuring Ditto and Ditto masquerading as a Pikachu, which is kind of cool. And then we've also got this ridiculous sticker that can be gotten if you turn up to all the different places around the venue. And then, of course, oh, and actually here's another sticker as well, which is kind of awesome. I mean, I'm not going to Korea to take part in the Metamon project, but I am saying that if it was even remotely possible, yeah. By the way, this sticker, the Ditto one, is for when you follow the official Twitter handle, and then the one which is very much a collage of different Ditto, that's your stamp rally where you go around, collect stamps, and then you get your sticker. How do you get this? You only need to visit one of the 6 places, and you get a card. The sticker is apparently harder to get, which seems a bit weird. But the point is, there is a promo, it is coming out. So we then need to ask the question, well, hang on a second, Wassy. Surely we're getting this in English. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't be so sure. Now, the weird thing is, this is a mechanically unique promo. There is this event going on in Korea with a bunch of stuff going on, including a 16-foot tall inflatable Pikachu riding a Lapras, but they're both actually Ditto. Yeah, that's apparently a thing they're putting here. And there's a whole bunch of giveaways like stickers and this promo card. The whole thing is bizarre, and I really want to go, and I'm probably not going to be able to go, and that makes me a little bit sad. But going back to the issue of whether we will get this promo card over here, I'm not sure. Because let's not forget, there was a Zera Aura movie promo, which came around in Korea exclusively, that we don't have. However, and I do think this is very, very, very important, that was not a mechanically unique Zera Aura, that was an artistically unique Zera Aura. You could still get the same card in another place, because it's literally just the one from Unified Minds. However, it was exclusive artwork that we didn't get elsewhere. So, I'm not saying we won't get it, but I am saying I'm not convinced. Also, fun little fact, Lee Mina, the artist here, is a brand new artist, never done a Pokemon card before. The fact that it is mechanically unique makes me think we probably will end up getting this at some point. However, and I think this is very important, doesn't have to be this artwork. Could be a different thing. But right now, we do have this Ditto, which searches out 3 different types of basic Pokemon, and we don't have this card. And there is a world, and I'm not saying that some great card is going to see a huge amount of play, but I am saying there is a world in which this sees some play, and honestly, the fact that we don't have this is absolutely bizarre. So cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. The funny thing is, we saw this, for instance, last year with Van Gogh Pikachu. We've seen this in the past with Special Delivery Pikachu. And what I'm referring to is the fact that when the World Championship comes around, Pokemon will have to essentially make an announcement and say, right, here are the cards that are not legal for Worlds this year. This card is going to be banned for Worlds, unless, of course, it receives a wider release in other places. Because Pokemon do not want any card legal for the World Championships that isn't available to everybody. So any exclusive promos for various regions, if they are mechanically unique, they just don't get legal for Worlds. They end up being told that we're told they're not legal. They're just not allowed to be played. Artistically unique doesn't really matter, because the reality is you can just play a different print of the card. But this is mechanically unique. It's gonna be banned for Worlds, and everything about this is just weird and bizarre to me, ladies and gentlemen. Weird and bizarre. Hey ho. I think I've told you what you need to know about this, honestly. I've told you it's going on in Korea. I've told you how it's being given out. I've given you the information I have about the Metamon Project event. I've shown you the card. I've told you what it does. And I've explained to you why, actually, there is an outside chance this could be good. And now all that's left is for you guys to tell me what you think about it. And also, and I know I say this in videos, and I'm saying it again, if anyone watching this is like, hey, I'm in Korea, I can get these cards. If you want to trade with your old pal Wassy, hit me up on Twitter at @TheWassy. We'll get a trade going. It'll be amazing. For now, tell me what you think about this card in the comment section. Good us. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's literally been a supporter of the channel since before it was a channel, back when it was a podcast in 2012. So shout out to Martin for the well over a decade of support and for being a lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.